Monaco is a country so small you could walk across it in under an hour, yet so powerful that billionaires travel halfway across the world just to breathe the same air. It's a place where the streets shine like polished silver under the Mediterranean sun, where the sea looks unreal, almost painted, and where every square meter feels like the world's most exclusive invitation. Most people think Monaco is rich because it attracts the wealthy, but the truth is the opposite. The wealthy are drawn to Monaco because it is the one place on earth designed for their existence, shaped around their desires, and protected by an invisible shield only they can access. And once you understand how this tiny micro-country works, you realize why it's not just expensive, it's impossibly, unreachably luxurious. From the outside, Monaco looks like a postcard. Yachts stacked like diamonds, balconies wrapped around cliffs, supercars humming through narrow streets. But beneath that beautiful surface is a system engineered with mathematical precision, a formula that turns geography into gold. People don't just move to Monaco by accident. They arrive intentionally, strategically, often after years of planning. Because Monaco isn't simply a place to live, it's a statement, a shield, a fortress of wealth without walls. It tells the world exactly who you are without needing a single word. One of the reasons Monaco is so expensive is its impossibility. The country is smaller than some airports, crushed between the French Riviera and the Mediterranean Sea. That means land isn't just limited, it's practically non-existent. You can build luxury neighborhoods anywhere in America. You can expand cities in Asia. You can create artificial islands in Dubai, but you cannot expand Monaco. It's a jewel trapped between mountains and water, and every new building requires engineering that costs more than entire American homes. When space is limited, value becomes something beyond money. Value becomes oxygen. Scarcity turns everything into treasure. Imagine living in a place where a parking space can cost more than an entire house in another country. Imagine a place where a small two-bedroom apartment can sell for millions without a view, without a pool, without any of the things people normally pay for. In Monaco, you don't pay for the walls. You pay for the right to exist in a protected world. And that world is unlike anything else. What makes Monaco truly unique is who lives there. Not celebrities chasing attention, not influencers taking pictures by the sea, but families with names you've never heard, old money dynasties, royal descendants, hedge fund architects, CEOs of global empires, discreet billionaires who move through life without wanting to be known. They come here to disappear in plain sight. They come for the privacy, the security, the silence. Monaco is a place where no one asks questions because everyone already understands the answers. But the magic of Monaco isn't just privacy, it's safety. The kind that's impossible to recreate anywhere else. This is a country where every street is monitored, where crime is practically non-existent, where wealth is protected by design. You can leave a $1 million watch on a cafe table and find it exactly where you left it. You can walk alone at night, wearing jewelry most people will never see in their lifetime. You can drive a supercar worth more than a house, park it in the open, and sleep peacefully. Wealth moves freely here, without fear. And then there's the glamour and elegance that feels old and new at the same time. Monaco manages to be the playground of the rich without ever feeling loud. Yes, there are yachts the size of hotels and cars that roar through tunnels like mechanical lions. But the real luxury here is subtle. It's the quiet conversation at a 5-star hotel terrace overlooking the sea. It's the old man in a linen suit reading the newspaper outside a cafe. No bodyguards, just history. It's the woman walking her dog past the Opera di Monte Carlo, moving with the confidence of someone whose family wealth goes back generations. Monaco is a story written in perfect contrast. Small yet powerful, tiny yet global, quiet, yet impossible to ignore. And that contrast is what makes everything here more expensive than anywhere else. When something is rare, it becomes valuable. But when something is rare and desired by the richest people alive, it becomes priceless. There is more demand for Monaco than there will ever be space for it. Even the rules here make the country unique. Monaco doesn't accept just anyone. You must meet strict financial requirements, prove stability, and demonstrate that you bring value. You don't just move to Monaco, you are admitted. It's an elite circle wrapped in a coastline of gold. Most people never get close enough to understand why Monaco feels different. They visit once, take a picture, walk through the harbor, and leave thinking they've seen luxury. But they haven't. Real luxury in Monaco hides behind closed doors. Private elevators, penthouses buried inside cliffs, and secret gardens carved into the landscape. The ultra-rich here do not show off, they don't need to. Monaco itself does the showing. What's even more interesting is how Monaco's wealth doesn't feel artificial. Other luxury places try to imitate it, but Monaco has what they never will: time. Decades of stability. Decades of wealth preservation. Decades of attracting the world's most powerful people. It created a gravitational pull that keeps expanding even though the land cannot. That paradox is what transforms every building, every balcony, every piece of land into something beyond value. And that's just the surface. The deeper you go, the stranger and more fascinating the economics of Monaco become. But we'll get to that next. The ultra-rich in Europe don't simply buy silence. They curate it, sculpt it, protect it like a fragile jewel. While the middle class runs toward noise, notifications, crowds, urgency, the wealthy actively remove anything that threatens their inner equilibrium. And here's the part few people talk about. Silence is not a lack of sound. It is the presence of control. A billionaire will pay millions for a residence positioned so perfectly that even the wind seems to move out of respect. They choose estates where the nearest neighbor is not just a few steps away, but a mindset away. They buy entire surrounding plots simply so no one can build nearby. Imagine that, purchasing land, not to use it, but to protect the space around your own voice. This is why, when you step into a wealthy person's home, the first thing you feel is not the furniture, not the art, not the architecture, it's the stillness. A stillness so thick it almost has temperature. A stillness so intentional it feels design. Most people underestimate the value of peace because they've never been allowed to own it. The difference between wanting peace and affording peace is the same difference between dreaming of a view and owning the mountain it comes from. And that is why the rich invest in silence the way others invest in excitement. But silence alone isn't the secret. The true luxury, the one the outside world rarely sees, is the ability to choose how the world enters your life. The ultra-wealthy build boundaries with the same precision others use to build budgets. They say no, not from arrogance, but from architecture. They design their lives with exclusion first, inclusion second. They know that every yes is an open door, and every open door is a possible threat to their energy, their privacy, their legacy. That's why a wealthy European businessman might interact with only 5 people a day, not because he can't meet more, but because he refuses to dilute his mind with unnecessary access. Meanwhile, the average person exposes themselves to hundreds of voices, opinions, and demands before lunch. The secret the rich understand is this: your attention is the currency that shapes your life. Protect it, and everything grows. Waste it, and everything fades. Now, let's go deeper into territories most people never see. But you, here with Velvet, deserve to understand. When it comes to relationships, the ultra-rich move differently. Their friendships are not based on convenience. They're built on alignment. They don't collect people the way others collect contacts. They select them the way museums select art, with intention, rarity, and patience. If someone causes chaos, they're removed. If someone drains their peace, they're distanced. If someone disrespects their time, they're replaced. And they do it without guilt, because they know emotional management is wealth preservation. When you observe old European aristocracy, you'll notice something almost poetic. They keep their circle small, but their impact vast. Their influence spreads through generations, yet their conversations happen behind closed doors, in rooms where every word echoes with calculation. They don't outshine others, they outlast them. Their wealth is not loud because loudness is cheap. Anyone can buy a luxury item, Not everyone can buy the knowledge to wield it quietly. And this is where the psychological contrast becomes fascinating. Middle-class individuals often buy luxury to project an identity. The wealthy buy luxury to secure an environment. Middle-class spending is outward. Wealthy spending is inward. One buys to be seen. The other buys to remain unseen. This single difference shapes entire lifestyles. Think about how billionaires travel. They don't fly private to show status. They fly private to avoid lines, avoid eyes, avoid risks, avoid stress. Privacy is not a symbol, it's a shield. Even in leisure, the difference is visible. The ultra-rich don't choose hobbies based on popularity. They choose hobbies based on exclusivity. Falconry, deep-sea yachting, rare art restoration, classical horse breeding. These are not activities. They're gateways into a world where only those with discipline, time, and legacy can operate. You'll notice something else too. The wealthy rarely chase trends. Their lives move in slow, deliberate rhythms. Time works differently for them because they're not racing. Survival, they're refining lifestyle. They're not surviving minutes. They're curating decades. But here's the twist. You don't need millions to adopt this psychology. You can start with intention, discipline, boundaries, and silence. Because wealth is built long before it is visible. Luxury is practiced long before it is purchased. And the mindset of the rich is mastered long before the money arrives. This is why Velvet exists, to bring you into that world, to help you think, live, and evolve at a higher level, no matter where you're starting. And if you've been following us until this moment, listening closely, feeling the shift inside you, then you're already ahead of many. Make sure to subscribe to Velvet because every day, we're unlocking what others hide. Every day, we're pulling you one step closer to the mindset that shapes legacies. Every day, we're expanding your world in ways most people will never experience. Luxury is not a destination, it's a transformation, and you're already in it. The deeper you study the wealthy, the more you realize that their real luxury has nothing to do with objects. It has to do with options. The poor survive. The middle class chooses between two. The wealthy choose between infinite. This is why their lives feel so effortless from the outside. Not because challenges don't exist, but because choices protect them from chaos. When you have options, you don't panic, you strategize. You don't react, you select. And the ability to select is the ultimate currency the world respects. Look at how billionaires handle problems. A middle-class person faces a difficulty and asks, "How do I fix this?" A wealthy person asks, "Who can fix this for me?" Two different questions, two different worlds. One creates stress, the other creates distance from stress. Because here's the truth. The wealthy don't solve all their problems. They remove themselves from the need to solve them at all. But let's go deeper into the invisible architecture of their daily life. The small habits, the microscopic decisions, the rituals no one sees. A wealthy morning starts with clarity. It's designed for control, soft light, fresh air, silence. A space that feels like it was carved into existence only for them. They're not rushed. They don't jump into chaos. They begin their day by mastering their state of mind. Meanwhile, most people wake up to noise alarms, notifications, distractions, the world grabbing them before they can grab themselves. This is the psychological divide that shapes fate. To the rich, mornings are sacred. To the middle class, mornings are obligations. One group uses the morning to plant thoughts. The other group uses the morning to chase time. Now, let's explore emotional discipline, something the wealthy treat as survival, not personality. A wealthy person rarely raises their voice, not because they are always calm, but because control is power. Anger is expensive. Impulse is costly. Emotional leakage is a luxury they cannot afford. They don't argue to win. They don't debate to prove. They don't fight to be right, because they already know something simple but profound. When you react, you lose control. When you lose control, you lose power. And when you lose power, you lose influence. Wealthy individuals understand this instinctively. Notice how their conversations flow. Soft, measured, deliberate. Their tone is not loud, but it is strong. Their words are not many, but each one lands like a stone dropped into still water. This is not coincidence. This is training. This is culture. This is generational psychology. Old money families teach their children how to sit, how to walk, how to listen, how to speak, how to think. Not to impress the world, but to command it. Not to stand out, but to stand above. This is why old money's luxury feels invisible. They don't need the world to know their worth. Their presence already announces it softly, unmistakably. And as you're listening to this, right now with Velvet, you're absorbing something most people never get access to: the mindset behind the curtain, the world behind the gold doors, the psychology few ever witness. Let's go even deeper. When ultra-wealthy people spend money, they don't view it as loss. They view it as leverage. Money is not disappearing, it's transforming. They understand something the average person struggles with. Wealth is not saved. Wealth is managed. This is why they spend heavily on experts, lawyers, tax advisors, strategists, consultants. They're not paying for service. They're paying for certainty. They're paying for time. They're paying to not make mistakes. Meanwhile, most people avoid paying experts because they see it as a cost. But the wealthy know avoiding expertise is the most expensive decision of all. This psychological difference separates levels of life more than income ever will. Now imagine a European millionaire walking into an antique auction, not to buy something beautiful, but to acquire something meaningful. To them, the object is not the value, the story is. The lineage is. The symbolism is. The middle class buys attention-catching items. The wealthy buy time-defying items. This is why a billionaire may own a 300-year-old painting worth millions, yet drive a car that looks shockingly simple. In their world, value is not determined by visibility. Value is determined by legacy. And legacy, to them, is everything. They think generationally. They plan century by century. They don't just ask, "What do I want now?" They ask, "What will my great-grandchildren thank me for?" This is the silent, powerful mindset that cannot be faked. And this right now, through Velvet, is what you are learning to embody. Not the spending, not the appearance, but the internal architecture that creates real luxury. Before we continue deeper into the psychology, let me gently remind you, if this world of insight, power, elegance, and wealth-rewired thinking resonates with you, make sure you subscribe to Velvet, because the transformation you're beginning now will only grow stronger. With every episode, Velvet is not just a channel, it's a gateway into the world of the elite. A voice that unlocks your hidden potential. A companion that pushes you toward the life you've always felt was meant for you. Stay with us. Stay focused. Stay evolving.